Time to clean the tripod, isn't it? Dear, oh dear. Hey, well, welcome folks, here we are. I'm just having a nice afternoon here, central Pennsylvania. But I was feeling my studio was feeling a little bit samey, you know what I mean? And I felt, ooh, be careful. You're going into the pottery ceramic doldrums here. I need to make some changes. Do you ever find that you go into the doldrums a bit sometimes? You know, your creative spark is... So what do you do? How do you get out of it? What do you do? So, well, first thing to do, I recommend, is have a clean up of your studio. Just clean it. Sweep it, rearrange it, make some changes. Always a good idea. You'd be surprised just by having a clean up how it can give you a fresh feeling, you know. So what I've done here is moved my wheel from, it used to be facing the wall, I've now moved it so it's facing outside. I've had it like this before in the past. And yeah, I've been having a bit of a sweep around. I've moved my stereo and Roku business up onto a higher shelf, so now I've freed up some more shelves here. So yeah, every once in a while, you know, you can feel that your creative spirit has become a little dulled and has lost its sharpness, and you know, it's you know, you need to take some action, don't you, to rekindle that the fire, so to speak. So that's what I'm doing. This is a place I've been at many times before in the past. So I'm sort of I'm aware that sometimes that's necessary to do, you know, make a few changes. So okay, so yeah, what have I got for you today? Right now, let me just put this on the tripod here. We've got a little background music. Maybe the YouTube police will shut us down, I don't know, but we'll see. I've got my friend Greg Brown playing. Let's move that mug out of the way. Oh gosh! Goodness gracious. By a Simon Leach pot, it'll break in two. This pot did get broken, but I kept it because it shows well the clay distribution that we should be aiming at in terms of go away, bee. The clay distribution we should be aiming at, you know, and that through the practice of learning to pull the clay and work to a gauge, and that's what we are seeking to obtain, that good clay distribution. Anyway, just show you that. Yeah, I keep this one specifically for that. I've got a couple or three pots here I need to trim. So we'll put that there like that. And these are now, yeah, these guys are ready to trim. Oh yeah, so let's move this a little closer. Oh, now we've got the shadow of the... Let me put it over that way a little bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know if they'll allow me to upload this video if it's got music playing, but yeah. So the way I'm going to do these, so I've got one of these, you've probably seen them, these, it's actually bought, it's a bit like a chamois leather, it's not leather, it's man-made, but my rusty wheelhead top here. Anyway, I just usually just wet it, stick it over the top. This is especially good if you are wanting to trim pieces where the, like a tea bowl for example, where the top of the lip is uneven, you know, and it doesn't make a good seal directly down onto the wheelhead. And because it's not flat, because it's sort of undulating, like some of these that I've got here that I've already done are, I'll show you some of these just while we're here. So these were the impressed shell decoration type T-bowl, but you'll notice that the top here is rather uneven. So when you put it face down on the wheelhead, you can smush the edge of the pot rather. So to protect it and stop it getting smushed, that's why I'm using that. It's actually to go underneath a bat really, to stop it to vibrating. But it works very well for this. These are some that I've done. These will be shortly finished because these are going to be once fired, raw glaze once fired. So here's one. Yeah. So just put him upside down on here, and this cloth grips the wheelhead, and it also slightly grips the pot, you see. So now I'll be able to now when you're doing trimming, especially sort of T-bowly type things like this, do not have the wheel going. Do not have the wheel going too fast. So maintain a nice yeah, another thing I've done is I've cleaned out my wheel. A lot about, you know, there's a lot of psychology involved sometimes in motivating yourself to get out into the studio and get onto the wheel. Little things like having a clean wheel, having a clean studio, just having a change in your studio setup can be little psychological things that can, if you apply them, can help you, you know. So yeah, now once I've done that, I'm going to put it the right way up here and take a little water on the end of my fingers like this, just to smooth the edge. So don't take a sponge, alright? Never take a sponge to a lip of a pot. You really do not want to do that. Always try and have a leather, chamois leather. Something like that. So yeah, the shell that I use is something like this, one of these, you know. I've got different ones. Some are bigger, some are smaller, you know. Yeah, it can be quite nice. I quite like with this sort of design with a slightly wavy look to it, which I'll show you in another video how I achieve that. It sort of gives the effect of waves, you know, at sea perhaps, and with the uneven, slightly wavy rim and then the seashells. Well, this one is not one like that. This one is more regular in its thrown form. So yeah, just tap center. Okay, learn to tap center. Push down, grip, and now this is more like an open, just an open bowl, you know. Good, well, I hope you're doing well out there, everybody. They're all practicing away. Yeah. Just get out in the studio. If you've been feeling like you've been in the doldrums a bit and you just haven't got the, you know, you've just sort of let it go for a while. You maybe even have thought, I don't know if I'm any good as a potter, whether it's really worth carrying on. And all that. Don't pay any attention to them voices, okay? Just get out there, go through the motions, get going, and you'll find. See, inspiration is an elusive thing, you know. It's people say to me, well, you know, people say to me, you know, gosh, I feel so inspired, you know, and I've been looking at your videos and everything, and I think to myself, well, I'm really happy and I'm very glad that people can get some inspiration. Am I always inspired when I'm here in front of the camera doing this? Not a bit of it, not at all. I quite often do not feel inspired at all. Usually what happens is I may not feel inspired beforehand, and I sort of think, well, I actually need to get out there and do a video, and it'll be good for me and it'll be good for everybody else, you know. And sometimes I feel very uninspired, and quite often maybe those are the actually strangely those are the times that people write and say, gosh, I feel so inspired, and I wasn't feeling inspired at all. Maybe, yeah, inspiration's a funny thing. My suggestion is just get out there and do it. Don't pay too much attention to your feelings. Try to sort of just be disciplined about it, and you'll find that the inspiration will come along the way, you know. Yes, indeed. Simon, this is very profound talk. Not really. Truth is, I'm just like you. You know, I'm. You know. I go in and out of feeling. Whoa! I go in and out of feeling inspired, just like you do. I've just learned over the years that I need to practice, and that inspiration will come if I get myself out here into the studio. Yeah, and I might need to do a few things like I suggested. You know, have a clean up, make a change or two. It's always a good idea, you know. So I've got one more to do here. This is like it's one of those kind of bowls where I've pushed in, you know, etc. Okay. Yeah, just learn to tap center, you know, it'll come to you. It's once you've learnt it, it's so much easier than trying to attach a pot to the wheel head with lumps of clay and tapping it and getting it and moving it so it's in the middle, and then putting lumps of clay around it, and then you trim, and all the trimmings go down and stick to the wet lumps of clay. It's a real. This is a much quicker, cleaner, faster way of doing it, you know. See, my finger here is keeping the pot down onto this softer mat, causing it to grip into the mat, you see. That's, in this case, I'm using the mat, but I'm not always using this mat. This is a typical example with this pot where the lip is very uneven because of the indentations. So this mat is actually really good in this sort of scenario, you know. Works very well. I'm also using my mirror over here. You see me maybe glancing into it. Okay, so if it moves like that when you're in the middle of doing, that's an opportunity where you can take it off and just have a look at it, you see, which is never a bad thing. Don't get this mat too wet. You saw me squirting it with this. You don't actually want to get it too wet. I think I've got it a bit on the wet side actually. See, you notice as I'm trimming, you see, it's not one hand on its own, it's bridging across with the other, pushing down, so it's two hands working together to get the job done. You always want to try and work like that. Don't work with two independent hands. Try and join them always. Good tip, that. Hope you're taking notes. Ha ha. Sorry about my sense of humour. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can pick up just by watching me do stuff, which is a lot of unsaid stuff, you know, it's just observation. So So we could call this a petal bowl, couldn't we? Something like that. Now you'll notice here it's got a bit smushed, you see, because that mat there I think was a little soft, a little wet, but that's okay. I can get rid of that easily. Put it back on the wheel, just center it, somewhat center it there. Just take a piece of leather and just hold it to the edge like this around. Where it's a little smushed, just a little finger and thumb work here like this, just to tidy that, you see. Like that. I've got quite a few of these actually waiting to go into the kiln. Yeah, all the pots are crying out to me from the shelves. I can hear them. Yeah, we've been here for 6 months. When are we going to get fired? You said that we were going to... I know I did. Be quiet, will you? Enough of that talk. Let me just grab some of you a minute and then I can show them to the folks here. So same idea, you see. You can be creative, you know. You can make your own flowers, you see. They're like flowers, aren't they? They're like flowers, yeah. So petal bowl, yeah, petal bowl. There we go. Now then, keep your seals in a little box. We put a seal. When you impress a seal, keep your finger on the inside right opposite where you're going to push in, you see. If you do that, it'll stop the seal from pushing up on the inside of the piece. Okie dokie. Right, there we go. Now we just be careful when you're pushing in. Part of the reason I have my finger on the inside is because in case the base has been trimmed a bit thin, and when you push this, it pushes all the way through. So you want to have something for the seal to push against. You see, that's why I have my finger on the inside, so I'm pushing against the end of my finger. And by so doing, I get a good impression. Try it, see how you get on. Alright, there it is, folks. Just a few little teapots. I've got to make some more of these. I've got to make a bunch of teapots. I've got my good friend Sam there out in Holland patiently waiting for his teapots, which I've not gotten round to make yet after too long. Hey folks, thanks for joining me. Please go to my website, simonleachpottery.com. I must get some more pots up there. I'm a little bit lax in getting them up there. Also, you may have noticed I've got a few. I'm running some of them, doing some of them video shorts, you know. My aim is to get 2 or 3 pots. I'm going to present them through a short video on my YouTube channel. So look out for them. They are sort of quick sellers. They tend to be up there for a few hours and then they get sold. So if that's something that interests you, look for them. Okay, and it'll be the first email that I receive. The first email will be the person that gets it. Okay, first come, first serve. So just act fast if you want one of them. Okay, folks, thanks for joining me. As always, keep practicing and maybe make a few changes in your studio. If you feel like you're in the ceramic doldrums and you want to get out of them, that's one way of doing it. See you later. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee.